happy to be here talking with an amazing human being that I'm just getting to know more and more. So Melissa Parker, you're going to learn all about some of the things that she's doing with the Parker Foundation and Kiwi Tennis Club. And I'm excited to learn, everything that you've got going on, the things that you're passionate about, and how we're forming this relationship between My Steady Mind and everything that you're doing, and really helping bring, awareness around some of the things you're passionate about. And then this mental fitness concept and weaving it into all of the awesome things you're doing. So I'll turn it over to you first and tell me a little bit more about your background and all the stuff you got, and then we'll go from there.
Well, like you said, I'm Melissa Parker, and thank you so much, Seth, for having me today.
My pleasure.
It's been great getting to know you and learning more about mental fitness, which I absolutely love. Being an athlete myself, being a registered nurse and co-founder of the Parker Foundation for Autism and Child Development. We've been serving Brevard family counties for 11 years now, which is so amazing. And we started this because my son has autism, and he received one-to-one ABA therapy to really bring him out from severe autism, which was really tough for me as a mom and my husband as a dad, when we first, got that diagnosis and everything. And then he made great progress through that, settled in about moderate autism, so that's where he's at on the scale. And after he aged out of early intervention, there was a lack of resources here in the community. So a lot of us families were like, what are we going to do for social events? Our families don't quite fit, our kids don't quite fit in on that typical ball team, or social events. So I had to get in and be creative. So the first thing I did was I would host birthday parties at different events and invite all of our families that had children with autism. So
any ages?
Any ages, any ages. At that time, I think my son was probably around 6 when he aged out of early intervention.
He's 15 now?
He's 19 now. We're going through a transition into adulthood, which is our next hurdle and fun. So interesting, challenges along the way, and our families must be very resilient. And the first thing that I realized is that I need community, because being a registered nurse and pretty much a type A personality, I felt like I could do this all on my own. And I just took myself away from family and friends because it was really difficult. He would have meltdowns anytime we went out. He would try to run away from me. He thought it was hilarious. It was very stressful for me. So I just wanted to stay at home, and that wasn't good for anyone. It wasn't good for him. It wasn't good for me. So I really did.
A lot of isolation. And you
I
probably felt like that was, the recharge time, but it kind of backfired maybe if you got too isolated.
Exactly. And it's hard on marriages. It's hard on families. Then we had a daughter who's neurotypical, and, obviously she's having a hard time because we can't just take all of our family to different fun events that she wants to go to. She's 16 now.
Okay, so they're pretty close in age.
She's a cheerleader, and very, very social.
Sure.
So trying to get Brendan incorporated into these family events and everything that we were invited to was very difficult and challenging, because he wanted to run away half the time. So I couldn't even have a conversation with a friend or anything, because I was always having to watch him and what he was doing, because safety is the number one priority. So these are all the things, and this is the reason why we started the Parker Foundation. And we started with Challenger League T-ball, and we started with it's Greater West Melbourne Little League. And this is where our family-centered model kind of came to pass, because we had to use siblings to be able to make enough children to be able to get out there and have a couple
and
teams.
all autistic kids
at that time.
At that time, they had just varying levels and ages and
because as you know, that's how autism rolls.
Oh,
we've got
pretty wide
severe
spectrum
to moderate to highly functioning. You know, and so it is a wide range. And so just got out there on the ball field, had the siblings come out and play, and they acted as buddies, and they were able to connect. And it's really great for them to see other families that are going through the same thing as well. And then the parents got to connect and get on the field if they wanted to, or just, sit back and watch their kids run around and do whatever they wanted to do
like
on
you
the
said,
ball field.
so important. People that can relate to the challenges,
so
the fun, the excitement, the challenges, and just that's
so that's kind of where the magic happened, I always say, and we could really see where the Parker Foundation, what that might be.
Okay.
And so I'm an athlete. My husband's
and that was
an
when
athlete.
Did you start that? When was the first inaugural game?
Yeah, so like I said, it was 11 years ago.
Okay, so 15 or so, 2015?
Yes. January 2015 is when we actually became a 501c3 nonprofit here.
Made it official.
We made it official. And I think right before that was when we had started with West Melbourne Little League. So that's when we knew we had a plan. And we started our free events. And so everything we do is free for families,
That's awesome.
which our community loves and really backs us up and supports us because of that. And we do free sports, arts, and education programs. We have safety initiatives. We have a swimming program because drowning, unfortunately, is the #1 cause of death with children with autism from the age of 3 to 9. And wandering, half of children or individuals with autism wander or elope. So this
wander
away.
Just
yes.
kind of unintentional, intentional.
Yeah, I think
both?
some of it, like my son, sometimes he'll come to try to find me.
Right.
He knows I'm at Kiwi, which is down the road, but he has to cross a road, and he'll just hit, no shoes on.
Yeah.
Might be in his
He's
underwear,
ready to go. Yeah.
coming to find mom.
He's like,
and when it gets in his head, there is nothing stopping him.
Yeah.
And we've really had to secure our home. That's something that most people don't understand. It's just, we don't want to make our children feel like a burden or anything. We love our children so much.
Sure.
But so we don't share a lot of this, but I think now with social media, we're learning how to better share so that people, like, this is Autism Awareness Month, it's April. So really get out there and just be able to educate our families just so they know what we're dealing with, because I saw something funny. My son he has fun. I don't know quite why he does this, but he throws items over the fence into the yard. So we have to become quite neighborly with our neighbors.
Sure, yeah, there's one way to
He's actually
meet people.
Snuck out and gone into the next door neighbor's house and started going through their pantry and snacking, they found.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So you really do, people just don't understand. And I saw a funny thing on Instagram about this, and I'm like, okay, I'm not the only ones out there.
No, I love, and that's what I love about
is
sharing it, because that's, I think, what happens a lot of times is it's happening and parents feel like I'm alone in this,
Right.
It's just me, and it's
nobody knows what we're having to
right,
deal with.
and
this
the more
is highly stressful.
And it is, and it's not, that you're making light of it, so to speak, but you're kind of like, it is kind of funny, a lot of the stuff, and if you can just have that understanding, and especially if you've got some neighbors and people around that you can just say,
we've got understanding neighbors, and they are wonderful, and we are on speed dial. They're #1 contact just in case.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting to see our families starting to talk about it and feel comfortable enough to talk about it, because I think that's really what we have to do. I just had, my sister sent me that on Instagram yesterday. I had so much fun going through the comments, because I was like, wow, okay, I'm not the only one that has to deal with this, and other families are starting to get it and understand so that they can be supportive, and just seeing how they all handle that as a community. And that's what's so important.
How many kids, or, how big, if that's the right word, has the Parker Foundation grown over the last 11 years,
Yes.
From that inaugural game to where are we at now?
Yeah. Our email list, we have over 900 families.
Wow.
And last year, now we've been doing swimming.
And is that all local to the kind of
It is, but we do
Florida
have some.
area?
It is. It's Brevard County is our main where we serve. But we do have families and buddies that come from surrounding counties. They're very interested in what we're doing, and they want to come out and help. They may feel like they don't have, they also have a lack of resources.
Sure.
So one of the things that I would love to do in the future is to be able to educate other families and other communities, because what we've done here, I'm just using existing resources, and it's very little overhead to do that.
Right.
And a lot of volunteers. I have 2 part-time employees, that program directors that work with the Parker Foundation, that our community support does cover, which is really great. And then I donate all my time to this because this is what I'm so passionate about.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. what's, some of your, I'll say this year's goals, maybe what are some of your top 3 goals with the foundation over the next couple of years that you're, that we can raise awareness or help or just, get out there to help you accomplish it? What are some of the main things?
Our programs are very well established here, and what we do, and we'll talk a little bit about Kiwi, but Kiwi has really become our hub, and it's really nice because it's here, central Brevard County, but it is still difficult for families up in the north of Brevard and then in South Brevard. But we do have great resources here in Brevard County. So a lot of our other nonprofits that have been around a long time, we're working together, which is really great to be able to serve all of Brevard County and even Central Florida. Yeah. So, that's one of the goals, is just to be able to get out and reach other parents and let them know this is something you can do too. Yeah. You don't have to do everything like we have, but if you're really into the t-ball, or you played soccer or whatever you're into, that's what I like to do, is get people excited about helping with whatever it is that they're good at and they're passionate about.
And do most of the is it mostly built around, I'll say, athletics and sports of some kind?
Yeah, well, you do arts too.
You do some arts and things.
We do arts and we do dance socials, we do roller skating parties. I mean, anything that a child would want to do, we do various things.
Get out and have fun.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to have our Love All Gala. Every year we have a big community gala. The last 3 years I've actually had it at my home, which was beautiful and wonderful, but it was a lot. It's a lot.
I can imagine.
And to move everything out of your house and prepare for a gala of that, a community event of that scale. So now we have a tennis tournament that is happening. It's a women's professional tennis tournament. And we are bringing our gala to Kiwi to kick off that week.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
It's going to be awesome.
Very excited. And this year it is a W100. And what that means is a women $100,000 cash prize, which will be
real money.
Split between the singles champion and finalist and then the doubles champions and finalists. So women from around the world, top, I would say most of them are in the top 500, 300 range, but we do have some in the top 100 range that are coming. And we do have some very well-known players that are coming back from injuries. And
is it kind of a qualifier for the majors or to get on the big tour, if that's the right word?
Yeah. So there's tours of all ranges and all levels. And the players are trying to not only win money to sustain, this is their job, they're professional women's tennis players, but also to get points to be able to play in the Grand Slams. Yeah. So they can actually get a wild card into the French Open. It's clay court season now. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's very exciting, and we do adaptive tennis at Kiwi. Our pros and our volunteers have been certified through Love Serving Autism, which is an amazing organization, and we're very close also with the USTA Florida Foundation. And they have supported us in the past and given us grants to be able to do this. And so it's a very natural fit for us to be able to celebrate through the community of Kiwi and the tennis community for our gala, which is the Love All Gala.
Is there, I like what you talked about, growing the foundation and the reach, and is there opportunities for partnerships with what you're doing in other racket clubs or tennis clubs? Like, is it a model that you guys could come and create like a partnership with
and
Jacksonville or somewhere?
We have been doing tennis, and we do several sports, so that's not the only sport that we do. And there is like I just mentioned, Love Serving Autism. They are amazing, and
that's a national?
That is a national, yes. And so she's out of, her name is Lisa Puglisi LaCroix.
It's a solid name.
That's
a solid name right there. That's strong.
I think I got it right,
That's
Lisa.
strong. I wouldn't have to order pizza and spell it, but that's a good name. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that she took her love for tennis, and she's a speech and language pathologist.
Oh, yeah.
And then she made it and created this for racket sports, for tennis and pickleball, and now I think they even do paddle. Yeah. And so they certify different tennis clubs, racket clubs around Florida and around the United States. And so they have become the organization for that. So even though we were already doing our adaptive programs for tennis, they came in and just really fine-tuned it and helped us to to certify and educate our buddies so that they are just amazing. And they also work with the Special Olympics. So we are the host for Special Olympics tennis. We have a few athletes that are about to go to states.
Right.
And it's just amazing. We also hold a USTA sanctioned adaptive tennis tournament as a qualifier in August for the nationals that will be happening for USTA adaptive.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So our whole thing is tennis for all, sports for all, getting everyone to feel like they can be part of a team.
Right. That inclusivity, community,
Yes.
And that's because, I mean, people just in general out there are isolated, but let alone if you're working, having kids that are, on autistic and that challenge. And so one of the things that, I mean, all the stuff that you've got going on is awesome. And the more I get to learn about it, and I mean, it's just top shelf, going to Kiwi and seeing it. And so one of the things I wanted to talk, we were talking a little bit earlier about, mental fitness and the importance and the need of that mental fitness, tools, techniques to just kind of manage your stress, regulate yourself in this, and that's what I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about. Just the importance of, because we're going to talk a little bit about the ways that we're partnering up and going to bring mental fitness into the Kiwi community and the Parker Foundation. And that's what I'm learning is how can we support all the stuff you just talked about and bring this little tool set so that everybody can thrive in spite of that stress, and you talked about the program for the moms, I think you said, and just kind of talk a little bit about why you how stressful it is, the stress of that, obviously, and your background, I know, as a nurse, like you've been in that hypervigilant state, so just, talk a little bit about how you see mental fitness kind of helping.
First of all, I just love that term, mental fitness.
Right.
And it's so important right
Training,
now.
not treatment, right?
Exactly.
And we're not coming in and diagnosing and saying everybody's screwed up because you're stressed. No, it's just like physical fitness, hey.
Right. I think that's something that that's palatable,
proactive,
that we can all get excited about for all ages.
Right.
And what I love about it is it can be for those individuals that are going through stressors like that. So for a person that has a special need or challenge, for the parents and the grandparents and the families that are having to deal with that, and support those individuals. And so as a mom, I knew that community really needed to be built, and that's why I created the Hey Mama group. It's a retreat. Hey Mama. Yep.
I love it.
And we
on brand too.
It
with
is. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And so,
Hey Mama. Yeah.
Yes, and so we meet 4 times a year at Kiwi in our great event space that we have. Believe me, I utilize every single bit of Kiwi, and I'm so thankful for the support that they give to us and our families and our community. But like we were talking about earlier, the stress levels for a mother that is dealing with, that has a child with autism and is going through everything that we have to do, and not being able to work a typical job.
Oh, no, I'm sure that's your full-time job, right?
Financial stressors and therapies and trying to find the right school and trying to get them to have friends and everything. And then finding personal time for yourself and self-care for yourself is just a lot to juggle.
Sure.
So I really love introducing the mental fitness aspect of it. I do the best that I can with the training that I have, but that's why I rely on individuals such as yourself to bring in more support and programs to be able to arm our mothers and our dads and our families with what they need. Yeah. And I'm really interested in bringing that to children as well, because as we know, especially introducing them to the online and, the like social media and everything that they're already introduced to at an early age. They need everything that they can get, to get by and to really be strong and to rely on themselves and know that they are strong enough and that they are enough and that they can do this.
And that's the whole thing that we talk a lot about with this approach of mental fitness is whether you're trying to get it to the kids or the adults, and we always say the goal is you have to hide the medicine in the cheese.
I like that.
And because there's so much that I see out there, and I'm sure parents too, that's when it comes to some tools and resources, again, it just feels like it's something's wrong with me, right? And even the kids pick up on that. Like if it's something that looks like it's grounded in treatment or, therapy.
Oh, make it fun.
Yeah, make it fun. Make it cool. Train your brain like your bicep, and that's what our approach is. You get it out there, make it easy, and then, it works quick. Learning some of these breath techniques, learning how to reframe a thought, learning how to use visualization, you know, and it's just like physical fitness routines, you know, and that's what we're excited about is how do we leverage, you know, and make it, you know, available, affordable, all that stuff so that there's no barriers, you know.
Right. Yes.
And then it can create that shared language. That's what we, you know, that's I can see a year, 18 months from now, like people within your communities, you know, saying, hey, take a BAMO breath, right, before you step on that field. Or you're time traveling right now. And it creates this fun shared language because that's what's never existed is a way that people can talk about stress and emotions in a way that doesn't feel like we're talking about stress and emotions.
It's true.
You know, and it just...
I'm really excited about that and the possibilities of it. Yeah,
that's what builds that culture, you know, having that shared language.
Right.
You know, and it's like the secret language that only people at Kiwi know or, you know, the
right.
Parker Foundation. And so, and I'm fascinated, just the brain nerd in me, you know, as we start to think about how we implement this stuff out, getting it to the kids that have the autism and see how they respond, you know, when presented with different solutions and modalities and just, you know, so I'm really excited about, you know.
And if at my level, with what I know, that's how I try to do it, is make it fun.
Make it fun.
Kind of sneak it in there.
Fun and
while
funny.
We're having some fun. Yeah. But really being able to learn those, you know, the right terminology and the right, you know, and take it a little bit further even for myself as a practitioner and an advocate. You know, I'm very excited about that.
Get you certified.
Yes, I know. I'm 100%.
That's right.
Exactly. I'm all about it. And I'm also really excited about the opportunity to bring this to our athletes
for the tournament,
individual at the tournament, and then also at Kiwi.
Oh, we're bringing it to your members, right?
Hey, at my age, I still like to compete.
Of course,
I'm very competitive, and as most of us are, whether it be in pickleball or tennis. And so I'm really excited about this. And just to share a quick personal story, for me, when Brendan was going through all this, I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of social anxiety. And this conversation right here wouldn't have happened at that point. You know, it would have been very difficult for me. And it was, and I challenged myself to do it. But one thing that I did, and my husband encouraged me to do, was to take up tennis. And let me tell you about the level of anxiety that I had playing tennis and the mental, you know, fitness type things that I had to do with myself to be able to learn how to get that ball in for the serve. It took me a couple of years to get to the point. Nobody wanted me on their team, you know, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. And that is something, that mental, that I had to coach myself through. It would have been really nice to have these tools before that. But I mean, that really did help me a lot.
And that's what you see. I mean, tennis, especially, you know, as a sports psychology guy, right? That's what tennis is one of the most mental games out there. You know, and especially for individual, because individually you don't have a teammate to blame things on. You don't have and similar to like golf, tennis is so mental because you have a lot of time between shots and points to think.
You're talking to yourself all the time.
100%. And if you don't know how to control that self-talk, even, you know, you have to be able to control it when you're playing great, and you have to be able to control it when you're playing like crap, you know. And again, especially somebody that's new, tennis is another game that's, you know, there's a lot of mistakes, unforced errors, you know. It's and so once you get in and you start learning that, and that's what, you know, and that's what I think a lot of the athletes, you know, probably some of these that are coming that are to the event they're doing some mental training, I'm sure, somewhere, right?
100%.
Like,
I'm sure that they are, because that is next level.
It is.
Yes.
And there's three ways when I teach and talk, and especially when I work with athletes, young and old, there's three ways. It's all about flow state. So flow state is relaxed awareness. That's where elite performance lives. And the secret about mental fitness training is, you know, that's a lot of athletes, even high-level ones, that there's three ways you can train athletes for performance, or people, but we'll talk about athletes. So you can train them physically, you can train them technically, and you can train them mentally. So the physical training is the lifting weights and the working out, right? The technical training is the fundamentals, the ground stroke, that's all that. And then the mental training is the separate skill. That's the one that most people don't know. They think the physical training is the mental training, and it's not. You know, the mental training is, you know, the routines that teach you how to win when you shouldn't. That's the game within the game, and how do I get in flow state, you know, and stay in it the whole game, not just randomly wind up in it. You know, and that's but the secret is, like, that's something that's normally just been reserved for athletes, but we're saying hey, if you're a mom of an autistic kid,
right,
you need to learn how to get into flow state.
You do.
You know, just out there in the yard.
It's
and
true.
Yeah, everybody deserves to be able to get into it, because it's what's going to it's going to help protect your mental health. You're not going to feel so, you know, just anxious and stressed.
I see that flow state a lot in art. So
when
we're doing art and
the
the
you
kids
get into
are painting,
the kids, you see them get into flow state and art.
Yeah. Or we work on these giant American flag mosaics, which are amazing. We're finishing up one right now. They just sit down next to me. They may be nonverbal, and I just see them go into their flow state, and it's amazing. It's like
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
you know, and that's just something that I think everybody should be able to tap into. You know,
definitely.
And so, trying to think if there's anything else within the ecosystem of all things Kiwi that are Kiwi that are coming up. You know, so you talked about the gala. We've got the foundation, which is exciting.
Yep.
And
the tennis tournament.
The tournament, and the dates are.
Yep. So the gala is going to kick us off on Saturday, May 2nd from 6 to
right
10
around
p.m.
the corner. Yep.
And then I believe you guys are going to be a part of Family Fun Day.
Of course.
Which is going to be 2 to 4 p.m. We've got a lot of fun stuff. It's free for families, all families of all abilities, and we'll have some special helpers out there on hand too to be able to help with the fun. And then we kick off qualifying on Monday. So that will be Monday, May 5th. 4th. Monday, May 4th. The players' parties that night. So the sponsors and the players come together, and we have a nice little kickoff party there in the Champions Lounge. And then they start qualifying on Monday and Tuesday. So we have the first girls come in to qualify. They're trying to get into the main draw. Main draw starts on Tuesday. So Tuesday that happens. Wednesday, Thursday is Ladies' Day. So we're going to have some vendors out for that day too, and some fun out on the front courts while the tennis is starting to get serious.
Yeah.
And then on Friday is going to be we'll be doing semifinals and quarterfinals. And then Saturday is the finals for the doubles. And then Sunday is Mother's Day, and we're going to have the finals for singles.
That's awesome.
And also with a Mother's Day brunch. Just embracing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I, learning more about this tournament, but this is a big deal. This tournament's held all across the world, right? Like in Tokyo.
It's all across the world.
And you guys won it, if that's the right word, last year for best venue.
Yes, we did.
So talk about some of the locations they do it, and then you all won it.
Right.
And the players vote on that.
Yes.
So that's a big deal.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
So yes, the players vote on it.
Right.
So that other players know that it's a nice venue to come to. The community's great.
Yeah.
And it was our first time kicking it back off. We would have it many years, and then around 2020 we stopped.
Yeah.
And then so last year we picked it back up, and then this year we doubled the prize money, and we're ready for it. We're making a few tweaks here and there just to really make it a great experience for everyone, and we can't wait. So we'd love to see everyone come out. If you just want to come out for the event, it's free. It's free just to come out.
Anybody come, bring your kids, and yeah, great event all around, good
and
family.
And then we've got two
event.
Restaurants on site, so we'll have food.
Food's great.
Drink.
I will. Yes, I can vouch for that.
Smash burger.
Gotta have a smash burger, exactly.
And then we do have sponsor opportunities, which have a lot of great perks and free ticket and free experiences for the week that are included. As well as the gala, and then you can just get tickets for the gala if you just want to come to the gala too.
All right.
Everything is on the Kiwi website.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. We'll wrap it up by telling everybody kind of where to find your. So the Kiwi website.
Yes, it's kiwiracquetandfitness.com.
Kiwiracquetandfitness.com.
Yes, and if you go to the tab that says Tournament 2026, it has all the information, as well as thank yous to all of our sponsors.
Awesome. Yep. Well, this has been outstanding. Great chatting with you as always, and we're looking forward to continuing to support everything that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for this.
All right. Well, thank you.